all the way through. Colorful always sounds like a term that needs to be one of those, like, comedically cutesy insults you find in a Tumblr post, like calling someone an absolute walnut. You cuff ruffle.
So, y'all know I love a good Ren Fair, and judging by the views on my videos about them, so do you. But this year, I'm not just going to the Ren Fair, I am the Ren Fair. I'm gonna be performing in 2 different Renaissance fairs this season, and dear viewers, I am bringing you behind the scenes with me. Welcome to SnappyDragon Studios. I'm V, fashion historian, dancer, singer, and lover of interactive performance events like Ren Fairs. I've been going to Ren Fairs for a lot of years, and I've performed in the Dickens Christmas Fair, which is a similar setup but for Victorian London instead of the 16th century. This year, I let slip to a couple friends how much I missed performing, and they immediately said, "You can dance, right? Come do English country dance with us." This guild is called the Merry Pranksters, and they've been around for a lot of years. I hadn't done a lot of English country dance specifically before, but I do enough related forms of dance like contra and Irish Cayley that I've been able to pick it up decently well. I'm not used to memorizing choreography. I'm used to being told what to do on the fly and then doing it. If you get the chance to try a type of dance like this, whether it's at a fair or any other event, highly encourage you to try it. It's the most fun. And if you want to see more, I did record this entire dance from one of our rehearsals, so go to patreon.com/SnappyDragon Studios if you want to see it. You can also get Discord access to come hang out, costume and pattern info, and monthly video chats too. The first of the Ren Fairs on our guild's calendar is Valhalla Renaissance Fair up in Tahoe, and my calendar got so full in August that I kind of forgot it was happening, so I am not all that prepared. But I have friends in this group who heard I was interested and were immediately like, "Want to borrow camping gear? Want to carpool with me?" And I have felt so absolutely welcomed. So we're just gonna go for it. I am working on a new Renaissance kirtle. It's gonna be a super pretty dark green, but I don't think I'll have time to finish it before I go up there, so I'm just gonna bring my current costume, the madder red linen kirtle I hand sewed, plus a shirt and a blue linen petticoat. I've worn it to visit Ren Fairs before, and our director has seen pictures and likes it, so should be good enough. There is a bunch of stuff I'll need that isn't necessary when you're a patron. That's the cast and crew term for a customer who's visiting a Ren Fair. I have a basket I can use in place of a modern bag to carry my things, and I like to tie a white kerchief around it, and then I can hide anything modern under that. Sometimes I'll drape another one over the top to protect whatever's inside too. This mug I found in a thrift store for like $7, and it's real horn, so this will work quite well for drinking water out of. I'm gonna need to cover my hair, both because of the blue and green bits, and because it's the guild's rule that adults in skirts must also cover their hair. There's a few ways I could do that. We'll see what I manage for sewing time. And then for sun exposure, big straw hat. I actually picked this up at the Ren Fair I was visiting and then got rained on, which put the perfect curve in this hat without me even trying. Hello humans, we are on the road to my first fair I'm ever performing in. We are on the way up to Tahoe. This is my co-pilot. Everybody say hi and thank them for driving. My goal for today is just manage the camping part of this. I'll figure out the performing tomorrow.
Good morning, friends. It is Sunday morning. I am here in the tent. It is 7:26 a.m. and I am just starting to get dressed, which is an adventure in this tent. It got down below freezing last night. I think it's still below freezing now. It says it feels like about 26 out. This is not the weather I prepared for. This is not weather I really could prepare for. So I'm managing. I've got my sleeping bag and then I've got a second sleeping bag on top of it to stay warm enough. I'm still in it because it is just too cold to get out until I absolutely have to. One of the best suggestions I got, which was put your base layers, like your shirt, your stockings, in the sleeping bag with you overnight. And then they're warm when you wake up and need to put them on. So let's start with the actually getting dressed now. First shirt, then I've got tie-on pockets, then hip pad, then petticoat. This is the bit where I don't really have any choice but to start coming out of the sleeping bag, and I hate it. Okay, legs. Got on very tall wool stockings today because it's fucking cold out. They're gartered below the knee. Even though they go all the way up, they probably won't stay. I've tried gartering stockings higher than below the knee, and because of the shape of my legs, it just all slips. Next is the kirtle. All of my Ren Fair friends said I was silly for making sleeves for this, and that fairs happen in, August, September. It's really hot. There's no way you're gonna need sleeves. Well, it's below freezing out, so I'm very glad I've got them. Safety pinned on to the shoulder straps. The straps hold onto my cuffs. They're really not meant to be put on in one go with the dress, but I didn't want to have to repin them, and I didn't want to have someone else help. Over the head. This doesn't go through a shoulder strap. Well, now it feels silly. Okay, there we go. This is now on, but I gotta get it closed. The eyelets are tiny because they're hand sewn, so laced up with tapestry needle. The reason I didn't take out the camera and film any yesterday is partially because it was gonna be very chaotic, and also it rained yesterday. The weather was just rough. Today, we're not expecting water falling out of the sky. I think there was even a little bit of hail falling out of the sky at one point. So I'm really glad I didn't have my camera out around that. In this section of actors camp, we've got two enclosed in a building bathrooms, and there's always a line. I need to go there to put in my contacts, to clean my face. I tried doing my hair without a mirror yesterday, and it held, but barely. Somehow, I always have the misfortune ending up in performance groups who have to be out front of whatever fair it is we're doing half an hour before it actually opens to entertain the people in line. It was this way when I did Dickens Fair in 2019, and my primary cast was the carol singers, and 9:30 in the morning we were out there singing to the people in line. This year with the Merry Pranksters, we are out there 9:30 in the morning dancing for the people in line. I gotta be out of here dressed, fed, and caffeinated enough to be ready, not just, be a person, but be in front of an audience. Said I was gonna shut up and lace faster, and look how that worked out. Y'all are just too fun to talk to. Normally I'd be lacing it closed, and instead I'm lacing it with almost as much room as I have in the lace. Some of it's altitude, and it's the beginning of the day, and I'm gonna be not just in this all day, but moving and exercising in this all day. I want it to be really comfortable. Reaching through the pocket slits, redistribute the shirt because it's gotten pulled up and the collar's not, where a collar should be. The hair itself is actually the easy part. It's just going in a big bun with these glorious giant silver pins from Jackie of Rieger Crafts. These are great. So let's get out of this tent and go towards the bathrooms and go deal with my hair. Tucking the cuffs in the hopes of them staying a little drier. Contacts. There's one. And there's two. Brushy. Sunscreen, because we are at altitude. We're gonna be out all day. While that settles in enough for me to put what makeup I am gonna wear over top, I gotta deal with my hair, so I can't have it like this. I am too old. Maybe I'd do it in pretty braids and put a cap over the top, but I don't have one. Normally I wash my hair on Fridays, but Friday was coming up here, so I just did not bother. I actually combed it out the car. These cute little wispy bits can come down. Doesn't need to be terribly neat. Veil pins. Part of the cast rule here is, unless you're a kid or a teenager, you gotta cover your hair. Since I don't have a cap, that means white linen tichel. So veil pins from Upsellanai, you wrap the whole thing. It's gonna have a big straw hat over it whenever I'm not dancing, but I can't dance in that hat. So the tichel's gotta be pinned on real well. It's not going anywhere. I feel fairly cute. The last thing is I am gonna wear a little bit of makeup because I am, performing. Concealer, I know you're halfway frozen, but come on. Eyebrows, a little bit of rouge. There we go. Hey everybody, welcome to Actors Camp.
Oh, sorry, I just put the whiskey away, my bad.
Tense and sleepy actors everywhere. In the guild yard.
Yep. Side lacing is the best.
So, you heard it come out of Oakland, but I thought it was Hawaiian.
Yeah, and
with the
it very,
two
like I said, it very easily could have been. My textbook could have been wrong.
Because there aren't patrons around, I don't have to dump this into the other mug yet, which is good because it wouldn't fit.
My other one's back. I have two.
Hey, so they walked into this.
Yep. You're the other version of that. Nose.
And started singing.
Nose red.
We're hanging around the courtyard, and we are signing up for what dances we're going to do for our stations based on
my
who
ratio?
and we have snacks.
Flip side, and one of my roommates got measuring cups. So then when she got
Getting ready to head over for our first stage show of the day. Good. Oh God, we're being followed by more dancers.
Remember to hydrate.
We're at altitude. Drink your water. Getting set up over here. And the stage is... Look at damn. It rained last night. So this will be interesting to dance on.
Looking at the stage schedule right now, this is what's posted. The stage doesn't have a name, it doesn't have half the performances listed, and that's just the level of chaos we're working with here.
If I have brought you joy, I pray, smile, I entertain.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
We've survived the last stage show of the day. Altitude was definitely getting to me, and also I've hit the limit on how much compression my fibro can handle. So I'm in our backstage pavilion where I'm completely covered, and I have just unlaced, untied everything. The garters are off. I'm gonna give myself 15-30 minutes like this, let everything relax, and then I'll lace myself back in and go back out there. This is good information for when I build the next dress that I'm working on. I'm definitely flashing back to the 2019 Dickens season where like I built a dress and then realized the difference between something you can wear to a party or that feels comfortable just in your house versus something you're going to be performing all day on like concrete at Dickens or the rough uneven ground here or the really rickety stages. And that's why there is a world of difference between historical clothing and theatrical costumes. They have different uses. I'm just gonna flop in here until they tell me to move my bum roll so they can tear down this pavilion. Okay, I'm back in the tent. I've survived the entirety of fair. So first order of business is I gotta strip, essentially, so I can pack up all the clothes back into the compression cubes. Take off the tichel that gave me a headache halfway through the day. Was it the altitude? Was it the tichel? We'll never know. But I'm doing something different with my hair next time. I think this fair was more of the like haphazard, just go for it, just try it, just gung-ho, see how it goes and hope it's not too bad. And I definitely learned there are a lot of things I want to change about my costume before the next one. And it turns out we're actually driving back tonight. I had thought it was tomorrow. I was incorrect. So now I have to pack everything up, strike the tent, but it means I get to sleep in my own bed tonight, and you know how I am always incredibly happy to get to do that. I was not even a little bit wrong in my excitement to be back in my own bed, and not just because of the things I will tell you about what camping in Tahoe was like. There were bears, friends. Bears. But also, this bed is pretty darn great. So thanks, Birch Living, for sponsoring today's video. They have extended their Labor Day sale, so click on my link in the description to check them out. Birch makes mattresses crafted with organic, natural, and sustainably sourced materials. Their mattresses don't use any polyurethane foams or fiberglass, and they own their manufacturing facility, so they can keep it entirely free from fiberglass-containing products and their potentially harmful effects. Birch uses natural materials instead for the same things, like the 100% organic wool, which is flame resistant, hypoallergenic, and biodegradable. My Birch Luxe mattress has a solid and impressive list of third-party environmental and safety certifications, one of the longest I've seen for a textile product. GOTS certified, Green Guard Gold, Fair Trade, Forest Stewardship Council. It's made of 8 different layers of organic wool, organic cashmere, organic cotton, and 100% natural latex with a quilted pillow top for the perfect balance of softness and support. I actually had a go at replicating this layered comfiness while I was camping. I stacked up 2 or 3 different camping pads with yoga mats between them, and it took my muscles nearly a week to sort themselves out afterwards. I'm sure part of that is because of how cold it got, but seriously, I am gonna have to have a real long think about how to make this doable in the future. Thankfully, I've had this mattress for more than 2 years now, so I could come home and recover properly. And I suspect it would have taken a lot longer if I wasn't sleeping on something so good. Birch mattresses have a 25-year warranty, so you can look forward to many years of great sleep. And if it doesn't work out, Birch offers a 100-night sleep trial. They'll even deliver your mattress right to your door, rolled up in a box. I am 5'2" and disabled, and I only needed a little help to unpack it and set it up. For bonus convenience, Birch also offers in-home setup and removal. And each Birch mattress comes with 2 of their EcoRest pillows, which are made from recycled materials. They're breathable and better for the environment. I love my Birch mattress, and I think you would too. If you're looking for a new bed, check out Birch Living. They are currently running their Fall into Bed sale, so it is the perfect time to upgrade your sleep with 20% off a Birch mattress, plus 2 free EcoRest pillows. Visit birchliving.com/SnappyDragon to find out more about this limited time offer. Tahoe Fair was a little while ago, and I am going to completely change my plan for how I'm building this dress. The thing I kept noticing while I was at the Tahoe Fair, around 2 p.m., the kirtle, which has a really conical shaped bodice and then it just transitions out to a pleated skirt with a waist seam. That waist seam and that transition from fitted to unfitted would get really uncomfortable, and it would start cutting in, my fiber would start flaring up, and I figured this was because okay, it's 2 p.m., I've eaten lunch, I've been out here for a little while. The human body does actually kind of expand over the course of the day, so your measurements are going to be smaller first thing in the morning than in the evening, and since it only laces up the center front, I've only got the one place to open it up and make it a little bit roomier to account for that. I remembered 18th century stays have those tabs at the bottom. And what that does is it smoothly transitions out the compression of the fitted bodice so that you don't have that one spot where it digs in. This is a stage costume. This is for performance. This is not going to be historically accurate because that's not what it's for. I'm gonna build the structured underbodice in the shape of 18th century stays, or in the manner of 18th century stays. It's gonna have those tabs at the bottom. They're not gonna show through it all on the outside. They're gonna be under a bunch of fluffy petticoats and their bum roll and everything. They will spread that pressure out so that I don't get that one spot where it cuts in at the waistline. Also, since instead of lacing up the center front, it's gonna lace at both sides, I'm gonna have twice as many places where I can open it up and make it roomier if I need to throughout the day. Here are the new underbodice pieces. In my usual bodice interlining cotton twill, I've extended them by about 2.5–3 inches and marked tabs, making sure that there's gonna be a piece of boning that goes through each tab so it is really spreading that stiffness and they're not just gonna flip up. Now I need to sew all of those channels in place, and then I can split the tabs apart. I don't think I'm gonna bother binding these because they're not gonna show, they're not gonna be visible at all. I'm just gonna zigzag the bottom really heavily so that that boning stays in place even with the pressure on it, and so the fabric doesn't unravel.
I tore 2 widths of fabric for the skirt, each as long as I want the skirt to be. Using some pleat math, which I made a video about in 2020, I'm calculating and then pleating the front and back of the skirt each down to the corresponding bodice piece's waist measurement. To
To make it easy to sew onto the bodice, I'm ironing all the pleats into place and then securing them with blue painter's tape. This is considerably easier to handle and sew around than pins, and it's one of my favorite tricks. The bodice edges are overcast to finish, and I'm copying their curved bottom edges onto the blue tape so I can pin the skirt on according to the correct curve. They're sewn on first with a straight stitch, then I can tear all of the tape off and re-sew the seam with a zigzag stitch to hold the weight of the skirt better.
Got all of the boning in the under bodice for both the front and the back. I ran out of the 6mm boning, which is like this really, really like firmer, much heavier stuff. So I sort of made a point to use that in the edges where the lacing is going to be. Also had 2 boning channels that go sort of over each bust point, and I made sure that one of those was the heavier 6mm wide, 1.5mm thick. That's why it's so much stiffer. I also had some 5mm boning, only 1mm thick, but still. And I had literally just enough of that to do every other boning channel. All of these are done and boned. Here's the back. And now I basically just need to attach them into the kirtle, figure out how I'm doing the shoulder straps. If I can do it all in the same seam where I just like bag everything out and then flip it, I'd like to do that, but I don't know if I can. So we'll see.
I was able to sew the straps between the layers for the back. The bodice and underbodice are pinned right sides together and sewn around the sides and top edge. When it's done, I can flip the whole thing inside out and the underbodice will be invisible, tabs and all. The straps will be secured in the front by hand. I'm also hand sewing thread eyelets for the lacing, first piercing the fabric with an awl, then using doubled heavy linen thread to stitch around the opening. It isn't necessary to do a buttonhole stitch, I just like how it looks. For the laces, I didn't want to make cord, so I've got some 3mm macrame cord. It's nice and strong, and I can add modern crimped aglets to the ends so I won't need the tapestry needle to lace myself in. With my last free hour before travel prep, I cut out a vaguely Elizabethan style coif to sew together on the train.
Pretty much all packed here. There's toiletries and meds, modern clothes like pajamas and undies, glasses case for when I'm wearing my contacts, pockets, bum roll, all the rest of the costume stuff is in here, and then these 2 water bottles. I am going to fill 9/10 of the way full the night before, pop them in my friend's freezer, and then put them in my pockets the next day because it's gonna be hot. A fair appropriate drinking vessel. Also in the basket I've got some more sewing supplies, the tripod, a camera bag, which will get this camera that is currently in my hand.
Good morning! As per usual, I'm doing someone's hair.
This is the bit of the morning where we all put our names on a list for what dances we're gonna do.
If you ask me, do you know how to do XYZ dance? My answer is, eh? And that makes putting yourself on set list tricky.
Well said!
It is only just past 10 a.m. We finished our set out front, and I have already deployed the underskirt cooling system, and it is nice.
The earrings are tiny bottles. Also, they're surrounded by dragons. Did we make a friend?
Yes, we did.
Can I book this out? Why are you wearing armor, friend?
Oh, for I used to fly in the Bagville's Ratapult competition, as well as now I go on adventures for whimsy and fun.
Oh boy, what did you fly on?
Oh, it's a trebuchet.
You need serious business armor for that.
Oh, yes.
Is this unwise? Yes. Am I still doing it? Yes. Sitting around the guild yard. It's already stupid hot.
The day started stupid hot.
It wasn't stupid hot at 6:30 when I woke up.
That's not saying much.
This was my train sewing project, and I finished it in the 2-hour train ride. And it's working pretty well, although I did need veil pins to keep it on my head while dancing. Otherwise, it would not have stayed.
These are Morris bells, English Morris dancing. I don't need bells to be silly.
Dancers, hydrate.
I love people watching at fair because there's a wide range of outfits that people wear. A lot are, you know, typical fair. A lot of it's like, oh, jeans and t-shirt to full plate armor that somebody just randomly brought from home. It's nice to see.
It is after lunch. I have eaten 4 ham rolls because I've learned the hard way if I don't eat as much as I can at lunch, I don't make it through the day. And it is time for the post-lunch adjustment, which is actually possible on this dress. Let out the waist. Tie the lace back up.
This bit of the afternoon is apparently called Cookies with the Ottomans, where we go and we hang out with the people who do belly dancing, and we eat cookies. We're being raided by the fair folk. No, not those fair folk, the other kind of fair folk.
There's
Oil that
birds.
costs $6
Those
a
cute
gallon.
little birds.
Don't egg me on. You've got a foul sense of humor you'll find difficult to swallow. Apparently so. Ah, yes. You were quite gullible before. Here we go, both feet. 1, 2, 3. I warned you to duck!
Last stage show of the day. It's cooled down slightly. The sun's mellowed out at least. My headaches backed off a little bit. And mostly the objective is don't die, don't break the stage.
Guys, we can put all this on the stage itself. We're going to be dancing on the grass. Alright.
Oh?
I love that. We're going to be on the grass.
The stage has not survived, I see.
The stage is not as safe as we would hope it would be.
Sing, oak and ash and thorn whispers, all on a midsummer's morn. Surely we sing of no little thing in oak and ash and thorn.
No. And that's why we're a dancing group.
So that's a wrap on this year's performance season, and wow, it was a time. Tahoe was definitely just throwing myself into it and hoping for the best, whereas Folsom, after I'd done a fair already, I was able to be much more strategic and fix a lot of the problems. I feel like we got the extremes of weather this year. Freezing in Tahoe and then nearly 100 degrees in Folsom. It was physically really hard on me. I'm not sure how much of that was the weather versus having some new health issues the past few months versus just the camping and performing. So I will have to plan out being really intense about taking care of myself next time I do this. But it was absolutely worth it to get to be a part of the magic of events like these again. Whether it's performing on stage or dancing with the patrons or just getting to go around and joke with people in cosplay about what they're wearing, these spaces are such a huge part of what gets people into costuming and what makes costuming fulfilling and meaningful and fun for people to get into. You get to play at Ren Fairs in a way you really do not at more strict historical events. I hope you enjoyed getting a peek behind the scenes at what makes these events happen. Tell me your Ren Fair stories in the comments, whether that's visiting, performing, or wanting to go in the future. Maybe I'll see you next season. If you had fun, click the button to tell YouTube that and share this video with your friends so they can also see what it takes to make the magic happen. The shiny bonus content is up on patreon.com/SnappyDragon Studios, and if you just want to follow me around the internet, I am at Miss SnappyDragon on Instagram, Facebook, and very occasionally TikTok.
And now we dancing fools must go! We hope you have enjoyed our show! As dancers we do learn! First there's music, then there's dance!
Pray join with us and do not one but two hands to our band.
Good gentles all, we are
the Merry Princes!
And we shall return on the morrow. We hope you will as well. Anon!
Anon!